And thunderstorms are breaking down your forecast coming up.
Plus, the death toll continues to climb following last weekend's deadly flooding in Texas. We have the latest on search and recovery efforts straight ahead.
President Trump is threatening more tariffs, while Democrats say they're hitting the wrong targets. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have that story coming up.
First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome into Fox 10 Midday on your Wednesday. I'm Ashley Mitchell with your headlines, alongside meteorologist Nicholas Herbosa with your forecast. Nick, the heat and humidity just teaming up together once again today.
Yeah, so I done a little disappearing act. I was on early this morning. I went to Fairhope, just did a summer camp visit. To Fairhope Police. They were doing a summer camp with a whole bunch of Fairhope school kids. Super fun. So now I'm back.
Love it. Welcome back. Didn't even know you left.
And here's the thing. It's hot out there. I was able to drive with the windows down.
Okay.
It was kind of like a nice warmth, but it is really heating up fast. Beautiful out there to start, though. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures warm up quickly this afternoon. 92 degrees in Mobile, 90 in Gulf Shores, 94 in Calvert, Atmore, Bruton, 93 in Grove Hill, 93 in Monroeville, 94 in Evergreen. So those are some really hot numbers. Now we look at the afternoon heat index, which 102, 102, 102, 103 in Molino, 103 in Milton. Hot numbers, even all the way down to the beach, where Gulf Shores is at 100 for our forecast heat index this afternoon. That's hot if you're down there. You've got to be hydrated if you're down on the beach. Make sure you're taking the steps to stay cool. Hour by hour today, just showing you kind of how this works out for our heat index. Topping out in the early afternoon around 100 degrees and going on through the evening or afternoon time, you can see it's still hot in the upper 90s. So make sure you have ways to stay cool. What about our chances for rain? There is a chance for rain. I think it comes mostly in the afternoon after 1 p.m., 2 p.m. You see right along Interstate 10, there's a development of showers and thunderstorms possible here. These thunderstorms could be some heavier downpours. Lightning also possible with these. They will start to drift inland, maybe towards the evening time. We have a chance of showers if you're in our inland counties. I'm talking Jackson, Clark, Monroe. In fact, even into the pre-dawn hours tomorrow, there could be some leftover inland showers. Rain chances again today pop up in the afternoon time, 6, 7 p.m., that highest period. Then they start to fade towards the evening time. Otherwise, it's a hot day. Now, rain chances actually ramp up for tomorrow, and looking at the long-range forecast, it looks like we could see some heat, especially as we get towards early next week. We'll have details on that forecast coming up.
Nick, thank you. And at this hour, the death toll in Texas is expected to skyrocket after officials learn more people are missing. Still, the search presses on with hundreds of first responders and volunteers all lending a hand. Days after floodwaters swept through central Texas, the number of people missing has jumped to over 160. Officials expect more will be added to the list after setting up a hotline for families to call. They're asking for information on anyone who was in the Texas Hill Country over the weekend and not registered at a camp or hotel. For now, crews are combing through layers and layers of debris in the Texas heat, looking for any signs of the victims. And with several children still missing, rescue workers say the search is also taking a mental toll.
It's getting a little harder every time we see somewhere, just a different piece of clothing in the water and trees or kayaks.
Many people do look up and they find that even though they're in an unthinkable valley of pain, there is a God of love who can somehow, some way see them through.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott has promised to continue the search until everyone missing remains found. Now, he says President Trump has pledged whatever relief Texas needs to recover, and the president plans to visit on Friday. In the meantime, Gray, the parent company of Fox 10, is teaming up with the Salvation Army for Together for Texas. It's a way to help out those affected by the Texas floods. And there are two simple ways you can do it. One way is to point your phone's camera to the screen and hover over that QR code there. It'll take you straight to their website, or visit togetherfortx.com to donate. Thank you in advance for your help. Well, today was originally the deadline for Trump's 90-day tariff pause, but has since been extended until next month. The Treasury Secretary says the U.S. has raked in $100 billion in tariffs so far this year. Fox's Caroline Shively breaks down the numbers.
Wednesday's deadline for imposing sky-high tariffs on countries has been pushed off until August 1st. But President Trump says more import taxes on industries are on the way.
We're going to be announcing pharmaceuticals, chips, and various couple of other things.
The president plans to put a 50% levy on imported copper despite domestic production and place a separate tariff on semiconductors. He's also threatening drug companies with a tariff increase if they don't move manufacturing to the U.S. within 12 to 18 months.
They have to bring the pharmaceuticals into the country, the drugs and other things into the country. They're going to be tariffed at a very, very high rate, like 200%.
Trump announced new tariff rates in 14 countries that go into effect August 1st. That includes 25% on major trading partners South Korea and Japan.
What makes little sense to many folks is why he's going after our allies, Japan and South Korea, and then cutting a deal with China. I mean, the reality is a lot of the jobs went to China.
The administration says the tariffs have already netted the U.S. around $100 billion.
We could expect that could be well over $300 billion by the end of the year.
The Congressional Budget Office estimates the tariffs could bring in $2.8 trillion over the next 10 years. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
And also new on midday, Yemen's Houthi rebels claim responsibility for a Sunday attack on a ship in the Red Sea. A statement from the Yemeni armed forces saying that the bulk carrier Magic Seas had been attacked with unmanned boats, missiles, and drones, and was now at risk of sinking. The crew of 19 left the vessel Sunday, and they were taken by another ship to Djibouti. The attack was the first this year on commercial shipping in the Red Sea by the Iran-backed Houthis. Now, back in May, the Houthi group agreed to halt attacks on U.S. warships in the Red Sea after more than a month of airstrikes by U.S. forces on its strongholds and missile infrastructure. But it did not pledge to end attacks on other shipping with alleged connections to Israel. As Russia steps up its attacks on Ukraine, President Trump says he's growing more and more frustrated with Russian President Vladimir Putin. At a cabinet meeting, the president did not hold back on Putin, despite extensive outreach in recent months to secure a ceasefire in Ukraine. Now, many in Congress are pushing for new sanctions against Russia. It's an idea that President Trump says he's open to doing.
I think there's a lot more that needs to be done. It sounds like Putin, as far as I'm concerned, can be tried at The Hague and hung by the neck. I'm tired of dealing with it.
Totally at my option, and to terminate totally at my option, and I'm looking at it very strongly.
And has already reversed a decision at the Pentagon to pause military aid shipments to Ukraine. And in your local headlines now, next month, voters in Mobile will cast their vote for the city's next mayor. The four candidates hoping to be Mobile's next leader are Spiro Chiriagatis, Barbara Drummond, Connie Hudson, and Paul Prime. Residents of Mobile had a chance to hear from each of them at a mayoral forum at New Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church on Tuesday. One attendee tells us this is an important election and voting for mayor should be taken seriously.
It's important to vote because, that's your future, my future, and your voice matters. And a lot of people, they don't pay attention, or younger people, they don't pay attention to what's going on around here. But you have a voice and you can use it.
But that's not all. Next week, Fox 10 and the League of Women Voters will be hosting another forum. The date for that event is July 15th. It will be held at the Via Center on Dauphin Street, and it's from 6 to 7:30 that night. If you can't make it, though, don't worry. Fox 10 News will stream the forum on all of our platforms. And meanwhile, the City of Mobile publishes its 2024 annual financial report. The report offers residents a chance to see how their tax dollars are being used. According to officials, in the 2024 fiscal year, public safety remained one of the city's top priorities. It was also the city's largest area of expenditure, with more than $134 million allocated to new equipment, training, and higher salaries for first responders. For that full breakdown, you can head on over to our website, fox10tv.com. Well, it was an exciting morning down at the beach today. We'll show you a preview of this upcoming weekend's festivities straight ahead. Plus, a new study is taking a closer look at the ongoing heat wave in Europe. What researchers found is coming up, but first, Nick, we're dealing with heat of our own.
Yeah, in fact, this is interesting. It's already 90 degrees at downtown Mobile at the airport. That's impressive that we were getting up there that quickly. Feeling like 97, that's the live camera from downtown Mobile right on Government Street. By the way, right now the radar scan is clear. All that green you see, that's just a little bit of ground clutter, but we could see showers and thunderstorms later today. It might help with some of the heat. Have a detailed look at your forecast coming up on the other side of the break. You're watching Fox 10 Midday.
Welcome back into Fox 10 Midday on your Wednesday. Hundreds line the sand along Pensacola Beach to get an early up-close look at the 2025 Blue Angels at this year's Breakfast with the Blues. Dacian Smith was there for all the fun bright and early this morning. And Dacian, people you spoke to say the Blues are something that's a must-see every single year.
That's absolutely right, Ashlyn. The Blues did not go through their full show earlier this morning, but that didn't stop hundreds of Blues fans from packing out the beach here and seeing these famous jet pilots do what they do best. For the first time this year, the Blue Angels hit the skies above Pensacola Beach to officially kick off Red, White, and Blues Week.
It is not overwhelming. You really get good views, and though it's not the whole show, you really get to see these guys in action before the show comes. We weren't going to miss this. We get here real early enough to be able to locate someplace where we can watch them come from every direction.
Breakfast with the Blues is the official start to a busy week at Pensacola Beach. For some people, like Brenda Bennett, it's a long-standing tradition.
I've been coming, I guess, over 20 years. My girlfriend that's recently passed, she got me started coming here. And so it's a good thing to come just for her, know that she would be here if she could be.
The early morning show is normally a chance to see the Blues before the big crowds that are expected this week. But this year's Breakfast with the Blues drew a larger than normal crowd first thing in the morning.
This morning at 6:30, we were getting ready to leave, and they said the parking wasn't that bad. But it took me about 45 minutes to finally find a parking spot.
Even with the wait, everyone said seeing the Blues in person was well worth the time.
Definitely. I live about 2 miles from the base, and I usually watch them practice every week, but this is so much closer.
For die-hard Blues fans like Lonnie Stockwell, Breakfast with the Blues is just the beginning. He's in it for the long haul. 4 straight days of air shows at the beach, and he says he takes it all in, seeing the best just get better.
Yes, the trick of making it is just knowing that each time something happens, it builds inside to watch something else, and they progressively get better. So it's I want to do it, and I'm going to do it.
And Red, White, and Blues Week continues tomorrow with practice in the afternoon at 2 o'clock. Of course, we'll be streaming the dress rehearsal live on Friday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon as well. Live in Pensacola Beach, Dacian Smith, Fox 10 News.
Dacian, thank you so much for that preview. Always a great time of year. We love our Blue Angels here on the Gulf Coast. And if you plan on taking your boat out for the Pensacola Beach Air Show, here are a few things to keep in mind. Escambia County Emergency Management deployed 24 buoys and signage in the south side of Pensacola Beach, creating a vessel exclusion zone for the upcoming air show. There will be no vessel parking allowed, though, in the exclusion zone. The vessel exclusion zone starts from the shoreline between Flounders and the Santa Rosa Island Authority Administrative Building. It extends approximately 250 yards into the sound there, and the purpose of the zone is to provide an access point for first responders entering and exiting the water when responding to calls.
And it's just a huge stretch of days ahead for Pensacola Beach, is what it looks like out there right now. Look at the water. I mean, that's so clear. A little bit of seaweed in there. Hanging out in the water would be perfect today. Low risk of rip currents. That's just about as good as it gets down there. Now, I want to talk about the forecast for dress rehearsal day and show day. Friday, Saturday. Friday, 86 degrees down at Pensacola Beach. We're calling it partly cloudy skies. The rain chance is there in the afternoon, but it is not extraordinarily high. It's something where we're really going to have to watch the radar and just kind of play it by ear. Saturday, the rain chance might actually be a bit lower. 88 degrees is the temperature. It might be a bit hotter as well. Low risk of rip currents, though, both days. Low to moderate. I will say that there are kind of some forecasts that are teetering as well. So one thing to do for if you're going out Friday or Saturday, just pay attention and be aware of your surroundings. I think that's the best thing that we can say about this. And keep your eye to the sky as well, not only for the Blue Angels, but for thunderstorms, lightning as well. Just reminders, Fox 10 Weather app is a great tool to have if you are out there. If you're out at the beach, it's also a great tool to have. We have a forecast available to you with live radar. This is what it looks like down at Orange Beach. So many people out there, and really, it is a nice day. It's a really nice day out there. Partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the upper 80s. It's getting hot, and it's going to stay hot through the afternoon, but overall not as bad as a forecast as it has been previously. Low risk of rip currents each and every day here, 1 to 2 feet for that surf. An extreme UV index you are going to burn if you are outside. 11, 9, and 8 for your UV index. If you're outside this afternoon, elsewhere, especially if you're along Interstate 10, north of Interstate 10, you're going to have to start contending with isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms developing mainly after 2 p.m. Isolated thunderstorms come into the picture on our forecast models. Otherwise hot. It's already 90 degrees. It's not going anywhere. We're staying around 90, 91, 92 degrees today. So I mentioned we've already hit 90. Mobile 92 degrees is probably what we'll get to. We have a couple more degrees to go there. Gulf Shores at 90, 92 in Pensacola. Heat index soaring here to around 100 degrees this afternoon. Very hot stuff. Rain chances again pop up in the afternoon. 6, 7 p.m. could be a particular time frame that we're watching. The Futurecast model does show those thunderstorms popping up there. Some heavy rain possible, and even some late evening rain possible for our inland spots. Looking at your 7-day forecast. Again, Saturday, Blue Angels Day, 40% chance of rain. That's mostly along and north of Interstate 10. Sunday, I'll keep a 40% chance of rain, but a ridge builds in. 94, 95 degrees on Monday. That means heat. Ridge means heat, and that means that the rain chance might actually go down a little bit too. So what we're going with is 95 degrees on Monday with that 40% chance of pop-up showers and thunderstorms. It is the summertime pattern, not going anywhere over the next 7 days.
Nick, thank you. Well, in global news now, a forest fire in southern France has left a trail of destruction in the hills of Marseille. Aerial footage now shows scorched terrain, and this morning officials are saying the flames were significantly decreasing, though the fire is not yet fully under control. According to the local fire department, 70 houses were damaged, 10 completely destroyed. The Marseille municipality posted a message on X that expresses support and gratitude to the Marine firefighters battling that blaze. 5 departments in southern France remain on high alert for wildfires, with winds expected to intensify in the coming days. And a new study out now shows more intense summer weather could be leading to a higher number of those heat-related deaths. The study took a look at 12 European cities between June 23rd and July 2nd. That's when temperatures rose above 100 degrees Fahrenheit in some places. And the researchers estimate that period was about 2 to 7 degrees hotter than it would have been without human-made climate change. Based on historical data, they're arguing global warming is responsible for about 65% of the death toll. The researchers are from the Imperial College of London and London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. Well, listen to this. A bridge collapse in India has killed at least 9 people. This is what we know. The collapse happened over a river in one of India's eastern districts. We've learned the region impacted has suffered heavy rain over the past few days, and the chief fire officer says 2 trucks and a rickshaw actually fell off the bridge. 5 people were able to be rescued, according to the region's health minister. Well, straight ahead, a popular movie theater chain is making it cheaper to see your favorite film. Everything that's included in the new discount is coming up on Fox 10 Midday. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The time now 11:24 on your Wednesday. Here's the latest in the entertainment world. Red Bull F1 team principal Christian Horner has been fired after 20 years with the team. That's all according to the official Formula One social media account. Horner had been Red Bull's team principal since it joined F1 in 2005. During that time, Red Bull had 8 winning drivers and 6 constructors' championships. Red Bull has not given a reason yet for letting Horner go. In the meantime, good news for moviegoers. I'm excited about this one. AMC Theaters is making it cheaper to go to the movies this summer. The chain already offers Discount Tuesdays if you're an AMC Stubs Reward member, but starting right now, the price of an adult movie ticket is half price on Wednesdays too. In addition, the 50% discount is also offered on a small popcorn and drink combo as well. But AMC has not said how long the promotions would run or if it's a permanent change. I certainly hope it is. Well, a new block of tickets for an off-Broadway immersive version of the Phantom of the Opera called Masquerade is now on sale. Tickets for the 6-week preview period sold out in 3 hours last week, and the production has added 6 weeks to its run, which will now continue through October 19th. If you want those tickets, you can register at masqueradenyc.com. Now, details about the show have trickled out in a mysterious marketing campaign. The cast includes several Phantom alums, including Hugh Panero, who played the Phantom in more than 2,000 performances on Broadway. Now, audience members attending Masquerade are asked to wear formal attire and masks, of course. Preview performances will start July 31st, and Nick, would be a really hot day for a masquerade ball. That's all I'm saying.
that thing is so cool, though. I like
incredible.
That's just an awesome thing. I love Phantom of the Opera. Now let's go and take a look at what we're expecting in the days ahead. Grab the rain gear as you're out the door, because today, tomorrow, you see those rain chances are up around 50-60%, a little bit more widespread coverage. We'll have a look at the Futurecast models and the moisture in our atmosphere with some of our forecast models. That's coming up on the other side of the break.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
Welcome back. And the Mobile Chamber is hosting its premier speaker series this morning, featuring special guest Alabama Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth. Fox 10 News reporter Stephen Moody has more on his message to business owners all across our area.
The Mobile Chamber welcomed Alabama Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth Wednesday morning. He addressed businesses in the area and his love for the Gulf Coast.
I think when you look at the coast area, no doubt it's one of the best places to live in America. You look at just the beauty, the people here, I mean just the quality of life, and then also the tremendous industry. It's got the right ingredients to make it one of the best places to live in the world.
Today's forum gave business owners a chance to hear directly from a state leader, and as he visited Mobile, Ainsworth had praise from Mayor Sandy Stimpson.
I think certainly he's going to be missed. Look forward to working whoever Mobile elects next as the next mayor, but certainly Mayor Stimpson, in my opinion, is one of the best mayors in the U.S.
Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth's job includes shaping state policy. Those policies impact infrastructure, education, and industry growth. And as he prepares to leave office following this term, he shared what's next while he's still Lieutenant Governor.
We're going to continue to work on making us the most military and veteran friendly. We're going to continue to make sure every child in this state has an opportunity at a great education. That's so important. And then obviously workforce is a passion, right? And we want to, continue to be the workforce engine of the Southeast and get people the proper training where they can have a, great job and make a great salary.
Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
Lots of good conversations there. Thank you, Stephen. Well, in the meantime, the city of Mobile is moving forward with scaled down plans for a new animal shelter, but not everyone is happy about it. The Mobile City Council voting to set aside $10 million from a pair of capital accounts for the project. Some people believe the planned location off of I-65 will be inadequate, but they agree it represents an improvement over the current aging and overcrowded facility. Now, the city cleared land on Mottlemer Drive for a new shelter, but Mayor Stimpson quickly shelved that idea when the estimated cost came back at more than $24 million. And then the city council in April approved an $855,000 purchase of a former TV studio off of Interstate 65. The mayor says retrofitting that building can be done for about $10 million and adds that there is enough land for future expansion. Right now, city officials are still waiting for that revised architectural design, and they say the council should get its first look at that on July 22nd. Well, good news for Alabama Public Schools this morning. The State Department of Education released the Alabama Comprehensive Assessment Program, known as ACAP scores, for this past school year. year. Dr. Eric Mackey, the state superintendent of education, says he feels good about them. According to Dr. Mackey, students across the board saw an improvement in reading, writing, comprehension, and grammar proficiency levels. Some other scores released were the state's ACT scores, and Alabama is actually one of the few states that administers the ACT to all its students. Dr. Mackey says the average score is holding steady at 17.3.
11:33 now on your Wednesday. As we look at the Fairhope here, construction going on there. Now you get a nice finished product, a lovely view. That park looks absolutely amazing. Calm water on the bay there as well, a few clouds. Quick note, by the way, not for the Fairhope Pier, but for Gulf State Park Pier. Noted this earlier, and Gulf State Park kind of released this earlier. So the Gulf State Park Pier, not the Fairhope Pier that you're looking at, will close this evening at 6. So a lot of folks go out, take pictures and stuff. If you're out the Gulf State Park Pier, 6 p.m. it's actually going to close temporarily for some electrical upgrades. So it'll be closed Wednesday today, the 6 p.m. all the way through 6 a.m. on Thursday. So just a little note there. A lot of folks go down there to take pictures, and we get a lot of those pictures sent in to us, so just a note. I do want to mention rain chances for today. They're popping up this afternoon. Thunderstorms will pop up this afternoon, around 40 to 50% for our rain chances there. Looking at the future cast, look at what happens. The sea breeze comes in here and we get the development of showers and thunderstorms. This is 4 p.m. Notice it's not a ton of them and not everybody gets wet, but there are some downpours that pop up here. 5 p.m. even more, just along I-10 here, and even 7, 8 o'clock now. This evening and early tonight, we actually have some inland showers that look to pop up on the Futurecast model. This latest run, a little bit more aggressive with those late night showers, so that is definitely a possibility. We'll keep a rain chance in for that period. Rain chances over the next few days, they're staying somewhat elevated, especially in the near term through about Friday. 60% chance on Thursday. Lots of moisture in our atmosphere. Looking at it, I want you to notice the difference between the lighter blues and the very dark deep blues. For Thursday, we are in the dark deep blue. That's a lot of moisture in our atmosphere for these thunderstorms to work with. On Friday, we're also in the deep blue, but you see this band of lighter colors off to our south. That moves in for Saturday and the weekend. So we do still have moisture. You can see we're still plenty wet, but it is a little less moisture, so we actually drop those rain chances down very, very slightly. Muggy meter, though, we're staying up there into the weekend. 76, 77 degrees for how much kind of humidity we feel, how ugly it feels outside, close to the miserable category as we head into the weekend. And that's not going to be great because our forecast high temperatures, 92, 93, 94 degrees, that's hot. And that means we're going to have heat index issues then as well. A ridge of high pressure starts to settle over our area early next week. That will also help to lower the rain chances. After that, the ridge might push off to the west, and we have this little weakness that develops here in the northern Gulf. That could be something interesting to watch. Some forecast models in the very, very, very long term, like way out there, are hinting at some potential development of a weak low pressure system. It's way too far out to look at anything specific. This is just so far out. But July 16th through the 22nd, it's something that we'll keep an eye on as that trough moves in here for the possibility of something to get going. This has no implications on your plans, though. We're not changing our forecast because of this at this point. No need to cancel plans, just something to kind of give you a heads up for, nothing to really worry about. In fact, the National Hurricane Center says no new development is expected over the next 7 days. That's good to see there. 7-day outlook for us locally. Again, nothing really crazy. This is pop-up afternoon showers and thunderstorms each and every day. That ridge that I talked about building in 94 and 95 degrees for our temperatures Sunday and Monday into Tuesday as well. That's really hot stuff, so make sure you have ways to stay cool out there. Your morning temperatures in the low to mid 70s, also very muggy feeling as you're out the door each and every morning. Definitely feeling warm and hot each afternoon.
Thank you, Nick. Well, in the meantime, diners are trading in five-star eateries for more casual options. European automakers see a sales slump in the U.S., and a fast food behemoth is turning up the heat. Fox's CJ Papa has today's business headlines.
Americans are eating cheaper. Barron says instead of eating at five-star restaurants, they're trading down to more casual options. Industry experts say expensive imported dinner ingredients are also less popular, with shoppers looking for shelf-stable canned and frozen options. In recent months, consumers have been snacking less and increasing their purchases of canned goods, as well as store brands as opposed to brand name products. European automakers are seeing a sales slump in the U.S. following the 25% duty on imported cars and parts. However, Volkswagen managed to see global sales up 1% in North America. Deliveries, though, were down 16%. VW says global deliveries of all electric vehicles are up by around 50% in the first half of the year over a year ago. And a modern twist on the classic Egg McMuffin. 2 new variations, the Spicy Sausage McMuffin and the Spicy Sausage McMuffin with Egg, featuring the chain's signature spicy pepper sauce. But McDonald's says, just like your social media stories, the Spicy McMuffin won't last forever. The Egg McMuffin helped establish the fast food breakfast category when it was invented in 1971. CJ Papa, Fox News.
And listen to this. Elon Musk's XAI chatbot Grok is pushing anti-Semitic tropes in its responses to some users. Yesterday, it connected several anti-Semitic tropes to an account it identified as being Ashkenazi Jewish. That account stirred a lot of controversy with offensive comments posted online about the victims of the recent Texas floods. In an X post, people behind the Grok account say they are, quote, actively working to remove the inappropriate post. So far, no word yet from representatives for Elon Musk on the posts, but the X owner has said he would rebuild the chatbot because he was unsatisfied with some of its replies that he viewed as too politically correct. Meantime, a federal appeals court blocks a rule that would have made it a little easier for consumers to cancel their subscriptions. The court rejecting the Federal Trade Commission's click-to-cancel rule that was set to take effect on July 14th in just a few days. The appeals court says the agency failed to conduct a preliminary analysis and also did not follow the required procedures. The click-to-cancel rule would have required businesses to come up with subscription cancellation methods that were just as easy as the signing up process. Well, CVS's healthcare company says it will no longer cover a major weight loss drug. CVS Caremark says it's ending coverage for Eli Lilly's Zepbound. The company says GLP-1 drugs like Zepbound for people with type 2 diabetes or obesity have driven up the total costs for its plans. CVS also saying it will take exceptions, though, for Zepbound if it's a medical necessity on a case-by-case basis. Well, straight ahead, Mattel introduces the latest addition to its line of Barbie dolls. We'll tell you what makes her stand out. And Airbnb is giving some renters a chance to relive their childhood. We'll tell you how coming up. Thanks for watching Fox 10 Midday. Nick and I will be right back after this. We're excited about this one. Prepare to warm up the oven because today is National Sugar Cookie Day.
So July 9th is dedicated to celebrating the humble but very tasty sugar cookie.
Oh yeah, the popular baked good was the first called the Nazareth cookie after the Pennsylvania town where it actually originated.
German Protestant bakers may have brought the recipe with them when they immigrated to America in the mid-1700s.
Interesting. Today, the dessert might take different shapes thanks to all sorts of different types of cookie cutters.
Some sugar cookie fans add icing, colored sugar, and even edible glitter.
But no matter how you slice and bake it, the simplest cookie is often the best, just pure buttery, sugary goodness.
Of course, celebrate by posting your pictures online of your favorite recipe with the hashtag National Sugar Cookie Day. Maybe you can send them in to us.
Oh, I love that idea. Are you an icing person? Some people like just the cookie, others.
I don't care. It's a sugar cookie. I mean,
like,
sometimes, like, you know, when you go to Walmart or Publix and get those, get the pre-mades, those are great.
Those are delicious.
But also, I like the really nice, well-baked ones that are just the regular sugar cookie.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've had a sugar cookie, but I will say about a week ago I made a fruit pizza, and so I just rolled out that pre-made sugar cookie dough.
Yeah, there you
10
go.
out of 10.
That sounds good.
It was delicious. I'll have to make one soon.
Yes.
All right, well, listen to this.
Airbnb opens up its latest experience.
Yeah, it's offering consumers an opportunity to immerse themselves in childhood nostalgia.
So Airbnb teamed up with Paramount Animation to create Papa Smurf's iconic mushroom-shaped house.
No way. It's just in time for the newest Smurfs movie premiere on July 18th.
Located in Belgium, the free 4-hour experience immerses fans into the world of Smurfs by bringing them into Papa Smurf's home. Guests will also enjoy exploring the magical forest, practicing woodland archery, and even having a full-blown Smurf picnic. The Smurfland experience opens up on August 3rd, but bookings for the once-in-a-lifetime experience are already open. Yeah, and those bookings will be on a first-come, first-served basis as well. That's so much fun. I have a feeling this is going to... That looks pretty. That is beautiful. Very pretty. Belgium is a very, very pretty country. Have you been to Belgium? No, but I am very familiar with the geography of that area. Really? In Belgium and the Netherlands. Wow. That it is a very, very pretty country. Right. The forests are like lush. Yeah, right? it's fairy tale forest is what it is. I mean, so what a great place for it then. Yes. I love how Airbnb puts a spin on just homes from movies, etc. I don't know if you've heard of the Home Alone Airbnb you can stay in as well. There's an Airbnb from Up. Yes. With the balloons, and so you can stay in there for a day. I think it's so much fun. Yeah, no, Airbnb doing some cool stuff there. Bucket list item for sure. All right, well, Mattel debuts its first Barbie doll with type 1 diabetes. So the company says it worked with Breakthrough T1D, which was formerly known as the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, to design the doll. How neat. The doll was introduced at the organization's Children's Congress event. She features an insulin pump as well as a pink heart-shaped glucose monitor on her arm. Mattel says the Barbie represents the roughly 304,000 kids and teens in the U.S. living with the chronic disease. The new doll is a part of Mattel's Fashionista line, which highlights diversity and inclusivity. And representation is so important. I have a little niece who had just a leg injury, and so what we did with her doll was we put a little cast on it as well, and her face just lit up, and I think that's so important for kids to see that there are other people just like them. Yeah, important moves by Mattel. Always been a company. Barbie has always been a thing of just empowering young women, especially with different careers, different options, and now representation as well and inclusivity. So cool. Great thing to see by Mattel. Yes, go Mattel. Well, while ultraviolet radiation from the sun is invisible to the human eye, as we know, it can cause a wide array of negative health effects starting from our first exposure. Fox News' Ted Lindner learns from more public health experts about the risks and when to avoid going out. More tips on staying safe.
Even though it's hot outside, summertime activities are primarily done outdoors and in the sun. But while its warm beams may seem inviting, the sun emits ultraviolet or UV radiation. According to the CDC, overexposure to UV rays causes most cases of melanoma, the deadliest type of skin cancer. And with July marking UV Safety Month, health experts are sounding the alarm.
Sun protection is really crucial during the summer months. Because that is when we are receiving the most sun exposure.
Dr. Katie Mae Malone of Clemson University says damage from UV radiation builds up in the body over time.
And the impact of it begins from first exposure, even as a baby.
Wearing broad spectrum sunscreen and protective clothing can help. But Dr. Malone also recommends people avoid the sun during peak UV exposure hours.
I typically see that range of like 10 a.m. to about 3 p.m. I would actually extend that even a little bit further, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Short-term risks of UV exposure can include sunburns,
blistering that can stem from that, painful sunburn, and then also skin damage, discoloration.
Meanwhile, those seeking the fountain of youth should also be seeking shade.
Exposure to increased sun, right, especially high UV rays, or really beyond that 20 to 30 minute time frame that most of us need on a regular basis, can increase risk for wrinkling.
Ted Lindner, Fox News.
This is something you can talk about today.
Yes, we talk about. I have shown the UV index multiple times today. We're actually maxed out today. This is kind of a hot. And as I was outside earlier going onto my thing, I had my sunroof open, and it's like, I was like, oh, it's like I'm going to have a red forehead at the end of this. But yeah, always a good reminder.
Wear your sunscreen.
Yes, of course.
All right, well, we'll be back with 3 to know before you go. Nick, where are we looking?
That's Dauphin Island, a very sunny shot. We see some thunderstorms later on. I'll have another look at the forecast as well coming up.
All right, listen to this. A New Jersey homeowner had to get hands-on when a panicked deer that broke into his home refused to leave. The crazy moment was all caught on camera, and Jeremy Roth has today's take. A look at this.
What do you do when a large deer is trapped inside your house and can't get out? For one New Jersey homeowner, the answer was clear. Grab it by the antlers and steer that deer away from here. WPVI reports Brian Carnes woke up to a ruckus he thought was a burglar breaking into his Medford home.
I thought that somebody threw a brick through my window and now they came in.
What he found instead was a confused and clattering buck stuck in his living room.
He gets up and he starts to run around. And when I look at him, I'm just confused. I have no idea. All I've heard so far is glass, and he's in the house.
Carnes says not knowing what to do, he drew on his own experience of handling his pet goat. He took the bull by the horns and grabbed that deer by its antlers, dragging it outside where it was able to flee to flailing freedom. And for this rudely awakened resident, as they say, the buck stopped here. Another deer caught in a tricky spot received some much-needed assistance, this time by professionals trained not in animal control, but in water rescues. Lifeguards sprang into action, springing into the waters off Flagler Beach, Florida, when the deer was spotted struggling to stay afloat in the surf.
I've never even heard of a deer going in the ocean.
For real, though. And if one waiting wild animal wasn't enough, the lifeguards told WESH during the rescue op, they spotted sharks circling the scene.
I saw 2 of those big fins come out of the water, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Thankfully, everyone made it back to shore in one piece, and the lifeguards later said even with unexpected wild animals, quick and decisive action is all in a day's work.
It's my job. It's what I need to do, so I'll do it for anybody.
For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
All right, it's that time. 3 to know before you go today. The city and county of Los Angeles are seeking to join a lawsuit filed against the Trump administration. The lawsuit is over recent immigration raids and alleges the Department of Homeland Security has unconstitutionally arrested and detained people in order to meet arbitrary arrest quotas set by the Trump administration. And then the streaming service Max has changed its name back to HBO Max. HBO Max first launched in 2020, and the name was trimmed down to Max in 2023 after Warner Media and Discovery merged, forming Warner Brothers Discovery. And then finally, Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark is getting ready to make her return on Wednesday afternoon against the Golden State Valkyries. Clark is no longer listed on the injury report after missing the previous 5 games with injury. Nick, I don't know if you've seen Caitlin Clark play. So many people love her. She's a lot of fun to watch.
A legend. Okay, is it HBO Max? Is it Max? Is it what?
Back to HBO Max.
Okay.
Had lots of name changes.
Yeah, I know.
I don't even know.
All right, in your forecast, it is going to be hot in the days ahead, especially as we get towards the end of the weekend. Rain chances ramp up by Thursday and then start to pull back for the weekend. Just keep that in mind. Have the rain gear each and every day and have ways to stay cool, especially as you get into the afternoon time when we get to the peak heating of the day.
Watch that UV, have fun tanning, but don't be out there too long.
Also, Blue Angels forecast, pay attention to the radar, but I don't think it's terrible. Just very hot.
Should be an exciting weekend here on the Gulf Coast. Thank you so much for watching Fox 10 Midday. We'll see you on Fox 10 Live at 3 p.m. Have a great afternoon.